Welcome everybody to the Edge Rowing podcast. Today I'm very excited to have Tim Ole Naske. Tim has been on the competitive world rowing scene for a while now. Junior, under 23s, seniors, Olympics, under 23 world champion in the single, many medals at the World Cups, always up at the top of the races in the single, the doubles, the quads, double Olympian now as well. Is just back from Paris. And Tim, yeah, thank you very much for coming onto the podcast.
Yeah, Jack, thanks for having me. Thanks for the great
Excellent.
opportunity.
Yeah. Okay, alrighty. So yeah, Tim, like what I always love to hear is how someone got started into rowing and what was the kind of reasons that they got into the sport. So yeah, like whenabouts did you start rowing?
My rowing journey started pretty early, when I was just 10 years old.
Oh, okay.
My teacher in elementary school, I think it is called, classes one, two,
Yeah,
four in Germany.
same
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Great. Yeah, she started a rowing course with our class, and my father was a former rower, so I was kind of more motivated than the others. And yeah, it was in the beginning great to have something besides tennis. And a couple of
Okay.
years later, it was great to have something that I'm not as bad as in tennis.
Yeah.
so, so yeah, I kept on with the rowing journey.
Yeah. So what did you like more about rowing compared to tennis?
Um, yeah, in the early beginning, I I always had great teams with me in rowing. So that was a little bit more like, I felt a little bit more home. I was like, tennis was, you go there 1 hour a week and that's it. You know the people you're playing with, but it's not like this great team spirit. And in rowing, you have like regattas all two to 3 weeks in this during the season. So it was more a team, and also with, yeah, both like double and quad, you have people around you that you see 3 times a week in the early beginnings of rowing. And yeah, that was kind of something I really liked. And
Mhm.
also, it was more physical. So I
Yeah.
really like to have a sport where I really get exhausted from.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I guess like it's the same reason I don't like golf that much because with golf you can't just like focus harder or push harder and then it works better.
Yeah.
And maybe like as tennis, I'm guessing maybe tennis is like that. I used to be the guy hitting the ball out of the fence every over the fence every time, but
Yeah, in tennis you can like sprint after one more ball, and you can try to hit even harder if you are possible to get it inside the field. Yeah. Um, but in rowing, one good stroke really pushes you forward. In tennis, one good ball, if the other player returns it, you have won nothing.
back
So,
to
yeah,
square one. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, okay, fair enough. Yeah, it's quite a different sport from rowing because I guess you hear a lot of people coming from, yeah, like swimming or even just like football or something like that. So never heard of any was there any was there any skills you think you had from tennis that helped you with rowing?
absolutely not. So, in the beginning, I wasn't even very competitive.
Oh yeah.
That came over the years. So when I first started being very competitive, it was like when I was 13. Yeah,
13.
13, 14,
Still
I
pretty young.
started. Yeah, but also 3 years in the books of rowing, in which I
Mm.
already competed at smaller events, but never really was like try to push my limits. So, and yeah, then started to see that I can win races, and that was what really got me hooked on the sport.
Yeah, yeah.
So this need of winning every race and always try to, yeah, get some seconds more in the next time, between me and the second place. And yeah, that was over a couple of years. That was really something that kept me going and was very motivational. So yeah.
Okay, okay. So how did you go about starting to, I always find this interesting when people start to get kind of competitive and they start to get a bit faster and climb the ranks. Do you remember, obviously it was a while ago now, but do you remember anything that you did or how you approached it from that young age of how you just climbed those rankings?
Not exactly. I always was a smaller rower, so I always
Okay.
had um, this aura of being the little kid
Underdog.
that, yeah, the underdog a little bit, and also I never got beaten on the line. So even if the race kept on pushing and pushing and was like head to head on the last 250 meters, I always know I will have the upper hand. So I was very, yeah, not easy letting go of.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Interesting. So was that kind of a big reason why you felt strong in that last 250? Was it because you
I
felt,
know
I don't know, like you like to prove them wrong?
yeah, a little bit that and a little bit be annoying as possible.
Yeah.
And
I
yeah,
could relate to that. Yeah, yeah.
so
Because not
yeah.
just for rowing, right? You can be annoying in life. It's fun to kind of do that, isn't it?
With the right people, yeah.
With the right people, yeah. 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 The expression I love, it's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of fight in the dog. But yeah, I don't know how well that translates into German, I guess, but
Mm,
yeah.
yeah.
No, it's definitely there's something I have this thing in my head when someone tells me I can't do something, even if I don't want to do it, I just want to prove them wrong. Like proving them wrong is more important than actually like doing it. I remember my cousin when I first went into maths for university, he was like, Jack, there's no way you're gonna finish that degree. And just there are a couple times I wanted to stop during my degree, and I was like,
Yeah.
you know what? Like Angus, like
Yeah.
sorry, he won't be listening to this, but thank he helped. He helped. Anyway, sorry, total tangent. Um,
Yeah,
okay, so
also when the coaches cycle by the course and one coach screamed over to their athlete, yeah, Tim is exhausted, he can't push any further, now you got him. And I was like, no, watch me.
yeah, that's
I can even
motivating.
go further and quicker.
So
That
if you
was
ever
always,
want, yeah,
yeah,
if you anybody ever wants to encourage you to do something, tell you to do the opposite of it, is what you're
yeah,
saying.
yeah, absolutely.
Fair enough. So when is that something a strength that you feel like you always had that strength in the last kind of 250?
Yeah, the last 250 was mostly all of the time something I knew I'm capable of doing that. They're a pretty good job. I think on the erg, I know the third 500 was always something very hard for me. And if the third 500 were quicker than the second 500, it always was a great erg test with a good time. So I also have all my erg times from 2013 until now written down in
Oh,
advance of the podcast, so
yeah,
that
can you
if you want
share?
to
Yeah,
discuss
I'd love
something about that,
Yeah, I'd
um,
love to hear. I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that love ARC scores. Who doesn't?
yeah. In 2013, I was 624. So not that quick actually,
Yeah. And then
but
just to stop you there, like what was the kind of the guys you were racing? What scores did they have around that? Like,
I was mostly racing Philip Andre Zuring, the son of Andre Wilms. To some, that might be great name. And Max Appel, whom
oh,
I rode with
no,
for quite a long time, but back then we were always rowing against each other.
nice.
And Philip was under six already. Max was in 2013, he rode a 6:11, I think,
Okay. Yeah.
six
So
minutes, 11
yeah.
seconds. So
And
yeah, they
then
were way quicker.
yeah. So I don't know. The GB system is quite heavily they like their erg scores. In 2013 in Germany, was that ever held against you that you were a 624 and the guys you were competing against were like, low 6 minutes?
Due to the fact that I was the fastest in the single, no, not really.
Oh, really? Okay, that's good.
But if I wouldn't be under the top three at that point, yeah, I wouldn't have made it to the Junior World Championships probably. So the
Okay.
erg is at the German Rowing Federation. Erg scores are, I think, the main focus, which is, in my opinion, not the best.
Yeah, bullshit. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, it's good. It's a useful piece of information, but um
yeah, but not everything. I mean, if you have a guy that pulls sub six but isn't under the top 12 in the single, there must be something wrong with his rowing technique that will slow down every other boat that he will sit in.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Um, just thinking of maybe someone out there who is trying to get selected for a bow or they're trying to win a race and maybe they're getting overlooked because their erg scores are slower than everybody else, but maybe, they've shown that they can go fast in a boat. Like what advice would you give to somebody maybe in that position?
Um, it's two different options. Either way, it's going to be hard. You can become so good on the single and on the water that it won't be possible to select the boat without you.
Okay.
The other way is improve your erg score. And I think that will take some more time because I think technique, if you already have a good technique, you can faster improve that over
Yeah.
one season.
Yeah.
Um, but an arc score, I think, oh, has most to do with your, yeah, how tall you are, how strong physically you are, and yeah, that takes some time. So to be to row the first time sub six was like in 2019 for the first, no,
Really?
2017 for the first time, but also quite some time. And in 2017, I had the Olympic season in front of me, and which I participated mostly. So no education in that year. I finished school, didn't started studying already. So 1 year just rowing, just trying to improve the erg score, and after that, I first came under sub six.
Nice. Okay, so yeah, two questions then. Um, I guess to put it simply, say improve your boat skills, your technique in the boat, or improve your erg score. So we'd love to go into how you went and did both of those. How for technique, for getting faster in a single, I guess specifically, what do you think it's important to prioritize? What parts of the stroke do you see as like really important for getting better in?
In the beginning of my rowing career, I would always say the end of the stroke.
Yeah,
So try to, yeah, keep the boat as fast as possible before release the boat.
yeah,
Now I would say the catch.
yeah,
My catch was not good in the early beginnings of my rowing career.
yeah,
Um, Even in 2014, when I won the World Rowing Under 19 Championships with over 20 seconds, a coach came to me and my coach and said, yeah, great stroke, but your catch is horrible. You can get so much quicker if you improve that.
yeah.
And yeah, it took some time until I realized he was right.
Yeah, I know. I remember towards the end of my rowing journey, I thought my technique was as good as it was going to get, or it was going to be like a small amount better. And then I rode in a double scull for one summer with a former GB lightweight, and he told Will Fletcher, he told me loads about the catch and made a huge improvement just by changing the way that I was putting the blade in.
Mhm.
Um, how do you like just it can be hard to talk like to coach the catch just by talking about it, but what tips would you give for somebody looking to improve their catch and improve their technique?
Quite what you just said. My catch improved very much in 2016 when I rode together with former lightweight rower Lars Hartig, who
Oh,
competed
cool.
at the 2012 Olympics in
Right.
London. Yeah. And he taught me so much about the catch, about how you really have to row a double, and that really improved my single skills. So um,
What did you change about the catch?
trying to catch earlier,
Yeah,
that I don't have this late movement where I come to the start of the rowing
yeah,
stroke and then already going in the direction and then
yeah, rowing it in,
just
yeah,
put my blade into the water. So it was more like with a little bit of backsplash.
yeah,
So yeah, and in the double and single, it's quite good. In the quad, I always had my problems with that. So it was like quicker movement,
yeah.
but until the blade was really stuck inside the water, it always took me some time, even now in Paris.
Yeah. 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 You're always working on the same things, just in different levels, aren't you?
Yeah.
I know when we're like sometimes we'll have someone who's more of a beginner and they'll be working on how they take the catch, and then someone who's, doing national team trials and they're working on that placement of the catch. So it's interesting. Okay, cool. Yeah. Great advice, great actionable advice. Um, when you spent that year just focusing on the erg and getting your erg score down towards sub 6 minutes, talk us through like what your approach was for dropping your erg score. What were you doing to get faster on the erg?
A lot of cycling, actually.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So that was, yeah, I was always a good endurance athlete. So I improved my endurance level even further. Um, and the strength kind of came with it.
Yeah.
So that was something that I always thought if I get stronger, I get better on the erg. So I always try to, yeah, build my weaknesses, improve my weaknesses. So,
Hmm.
but when I improved my something that I'm already good at, it always pushed my weaknesses away.
Okay.
So, yeah, if you're a strong athlete with a poor technique, don't try to change it too much. Be a strong athlete, be a
Yeah.
strong rower, be physical, um, keep on working that way, and don't try to get too much into endurance. And yeah, for me it was the other way around. When I'm too much into strength training, I get kind of slow with my
Oh
movement.
yeah.
So yeah, and too heavy.
Yeah.
So always around 90 kilograms. Um, and if I'm sub 90 kilograms, I'm always pretty good on the single. And if I'm above that, I'm too fatigued,
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So sorry. When you're on the what were you doing on the bike? How much mileage were you doing on the bike? Or actually, sorry, could you talk us through what a normal Monday to Sunday training week looked like
Oh,
for you when you were improving the erg scores?
mm, in the beginning of the day, it was either a erg row as an erg or rowing on the water. Mm, and in
How,
the afternoon,
how
it
long?
was either,
Sorry, just like how
yeah,
long? Or
20 kilometers on the
20K.
water or 24 on the erg, and always steady state. So on the erg,
Yeah.
90 minutes without a break, without drinking anything.
No music?
It was music, of course, of course. I
Oh,
can't do a single stroke on the erg without music.
yeah, fair enough.
um, yeah, it's.
I know
I
some
knew,
guys that don't train with music.
yeah, yeah. I know someone as well. The coach always told him, "You don't have music on the water, so why on the erg?"
Yeah, I've heard that before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does make you quicker.
Yeah.
Enjoy music. I
What's
think it.
your what's your go-to music?
Oh, depends what I'm feeling in the moment. It's from 90s pop to rock songs.
Nice.
It's everything,
Everything. Yeah, fair enough. Fair
everything,
enough.
totally everything.
Any as a German, any Rammstein?
Sometimes, but Rammstein more strength training,
Gotcha.
not
Gotcha.
that much
Okay.
on the erg.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Okay, sorry, yeah, another tangent there. So 24K on the in the morning, UT2, low intensity, and then on in the afternoon, would you do bike rides?
Like in the beginning, 70 kilometers. Later in that year, 90 kilometers.
Mm. So a lot.
Uh, yeah, yes, yes. I had the time, so
Yeah.
always around 30 kilometers per hour. So,
Nice.
which was not that easy for me at that time. So I think about 200 watts, 220 watts. Um, yeah, it's always flat in Hamburg. We don't have any hills here, so
Yeah.
was also pretty much steady state. Or on other days, I hit the gym. So, and Sundays were always for regeneration.
Yeah.
It's very important that you uh, give yourself a little kick on Saturday and on Sunday, just rest.
So when you say a little kick, like what's a little kick for you?
Do some intervals on the erg, like 10 times 2K.
Oh, right.
Not at race pace, more like 10 seconds quicker than your how do you say it?
The low intensity splits. So kind of
Yeah,
like
low
oh,
intensity split.
so
Yeah,
like
like for
mid.
me it was always like 152 normal pace and the intervals then with 140, 142.
Okay. Okay, so quite a thresholdy session. Yeah, that would be
Yeah.
tiring.
Yeah, with frequencies like 20, 22.
Nice. No, cool. No, cool. And then were you doing all that training on your own if you were, did you kind of like leave the German system for a little bit and then come back in after that? Or was that, were they letting you do that
Um,
training on your own?
no, I was with the German training system for half the year. When they selected the Rio Olympic team, I went back to my home coach, um, and he did quite similar with me and prepared me for the 2016 under 23 Worlds
Right.
with that kind of training. And afterwards, we kept on going like that.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. And then that was the year the Germans won the quad. Did they win the quad again in 2016? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they won the quad again, and the whole season they weren't that good actually.
Yeah, that's
Um,
right.
yeah, they almost didn't make it to the A final in Rio. Then I don't know what they did. I think they themselves don't know what they did right in that situation. But yeah, the perfect timing, the perfect race, and
Yeah.
they went for a second gold medal.
Wow. Yeah, because just anybody listening who doesn't know their rowing history that well, the Germans won the quad in London, and then they were quite dominant up until London, weren't they? And then
Yeah,
I think so, and then
they
after that they
almost
weren't.
Yeah, they almost won the World Championships in 2011, but Laurent Schoof pulled a crap.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
made the boat stop. And in 2012, they won. Um, Afterwards, 2013, bronze medal,
Oh, okay,
2014.
remember.
I don't remember. I think it was bronze as well.
Oh, I'm making notes
2015
here. No,
World
we're doing well.
Championships and 2016, then second gold medal for the crew.
Wow. Okay, yeah, cool, cool. Okay, so when um when you after 2016 Olympics dropped the erg score, what did that what was next for you after the under 23 World Championships as well? Like what were you was that
Mm,
you selected into the German team?
Yeah, due to the fact that some of the athletes from the 2016 team just took some time off. The team had many open spaces, and I wanted to row the single. After 2016, I knew I can make it. Yeah, won the German national championships. Was selected in the single afterwards. Had a pretty good season. Every time I was in the A final. Every event I started in. So yeah, good season in 2017.
Hmm. So you wanted to do the single then. I just remember you saying a big reason why you liked rowing was the team environment. Did you notice it changed? Did you like start to like the single more? Was that right?
Yeah, I loved the team spirit in the beginning, but the more competitive I got, the more I really loved the single. So that
Yeah.
changed over the years.
Yeah. What do you like? What is it you like about the single?
That you are not depend on any other rowers. So it's like in the double, you have one person that you have to be perfectly in sync with. But in the quad with four people, you always have one or two that have a different idea of rowing. And to get that together always takes time. And even in the best races, you're not perfect harmony in sync. And that's something I want to feel the boat like flying and not
Yeah.
moving it through the water.
Yeah, okay. Does the I know in GB will they try and get everybody to row the same technique at a club level through to the kind of like amateur and then through to the top end. In Germany, is it sort of like the same technique? Is there sort of like a German technique that helps it? Or because I know some countries they're quite different. I know I've heard the Sinkovic brothers talk about how Croatia teaches different techniques at different clubs.
Yeah, in Germany, it's quite similar to Croatia. So, different club, different rowing style, different coach, different rowing style. I mean, even at senior level now in the German team, you have three different scull boats, three different, completely different techniques. I
Oh,
mean,
really?
Olli Seidler with a very quick catch, but a very short overall stroke length. Then you have the double with a, from my perspective, very strange
All right.
rhythm. We rode a couple of times with them in the quad and ended with the point where I didn't know at all what they really want from me. I was just
Yeah.
sitting there trying to somehow move with them and with the boat, but I never knew what exactly it was they wanted me to do. So yeah,
Okay.
was
Okay.
pretty hard. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's tricky managing all the different techniques and different personalities, I guess. Um, just question. So, just out of curiosity, like with Ollie Zeidler, like did people try road did people do crew boats with Ollie, or was he kind of just always in the single?
He was always in the single. I mean, he first came to the German national championships in the single in 2018. He finished third, and afterwards, Ollie and I were sent to the World Cups to battle out who's going to the World Championships.
That's right. I remember watching you guys race. Yeah.
Yeah, like in Linz, I beat him in the turn. I was totally exhausted and only finished sixth. Um, Pretty good for the condition I was in, but only finished second. And afterwards, they sent him to the World Championships. And I wasn't even selected for any other
Oh,
boat club.
really?
Yeah, I missed out the 2018 World Championships, which was very, very hard for me. Um, Also, afterwards, to get back into rowing, to get back on the level took really some time. The whole season 2019, I wasn't at my top of the game. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So in 20 in the event you came in sixth, were you unwell or was there an injury or something like that, or you just maybe
That
like
was Lucerne.
overtraining?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
sorry,
can
Lucerne.
start a little bit earlier. Yeah. After the season 2017, during the winter training, I got sick and was I couldn't train at all for like 3 months. So it was pretty bad. Um, I started, yeah, in the end of March. I started with training again. In the beginning, back at the German national rowing team, but very quickly decided to go back to my home club. Um, yeah, get to training there. Yeah, just 2 months later, yeah, 2 months, 1.5 months later, I won the German national championships, and yeah, the Rowing Federation said who wins the single will be presented in Germany in the single.
Oh, really?
So yeah,
And
but
they lied.
yeah, pretty
You're like, no comment.
yeah, it's a long time ago. So 6 years
Yeah,
have
true.
passed. The people who decided that aren't in positions anymore. So yeah, was pretty hard for me at that time. Um, yeah. Um, so with just 2 months of training, I wasn't that. I hadn't that much power inside of me to do so many competitions. And after Linz, um, uh, it would be better to just pause, give the body more rest. But I was like, okay, next event I want to beat Robbie Manson. That was yeah something yeah that lead to the fact that I was not at all physically capable of beating Ollie again in the CERN. So
Yeah. Yeah, because he was going through I think was that he was going through selection in the single as well for New Zealand, wasn't he? Kind of similar situation as you and
yeah,
Ollie,
with
where it's him against
Mahit Rice,
Mahe.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine that being super stressful. Anytime I was only in the GB team for a couple years, but when it came to the selection periods, it could be quite a stressful thing, I guess. But
yeah.
um, any way, like I guess going through that like challenging sort of stress, uncertainty around single. If I win this race, am I going to get that? If I don't, like what's going to happen? What
For
advice would you,
me,
oh sorry, on you
yeah, for
go.
me, the worst was not being selected for the World Championships at all. So it wasn't
Yeah.
like, okay, I lost to Ollie in one race, not being sent now really sucks. But don't go to the Worlds at all was like I felt like a total loser. That
Yeah.
was mentally the hardest part to overcome for the selection of the 2022 2020 Olympic team. So it took some time. It was very hard, but my home coach really got me going again.
Yeah, what did you do to get going again after that difficult time?
Some mentally training with him. So he was like always asking me like, what is your goal? What is it you want to achieve? And do you really want to go to the Olympics sometime? And for me, the question was always, yeah, I want to be an Olympian. And there was this one race. It was the qualification for the team, for the Tokyo Olympic team in the single. And I had not that good first race. And in the final, I wasn't that confident. And so I called him and was like, yeah, first race was okay, but my technique isn't there where I want it to be. And he just asked me, hey, do you want to go to the Olympics? Because
Oh
if
yeah.
not, you can just quit anytime. And I
Yeah.
was like, okay, come on, I show you I want to go to the Olympics.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Hmm.
I just dominated the final with I think like 8 seconds, 7 seconds. It was quite a huge gap. So that
Yeah.
was when I really got back my mental strength.
Nice. That reminds me, I mean, this was years before I got close to getting into the GB team, but I remember I started working with this coach. Basically, my mindset was terrible for a time. I was basically just, long story short, I was being too lazy. And this one coach, like within about 4 weeks of coaching me, he sat me down and he was like, "Cool, Jack, you said you wanted to get into the GB rowing team. Right now, you're not doing the training required to get there, so that's fine. What we need to do is just pick a different goal because you're not like in line with that goal." It's kind of like just reminding yourself that like, oh, I do actually like want this. I used to always do this when I was coaching juniors as well, and they'd come down and they would say, "Oh, Jack, I don't want to go rowing. It's raining." And I would just say, That's fine. Like you don't have to. Like go and sit. You can sit in the changing room. You can sit in the tea room." Um, but yeah, sorry, yeah, like it's
Yeah,
an important thing to remember that you want to do it, isn't it?
yeah, absolutely. also to get shown that the only person capable of achieving something is yourself. So no coach will carry you to your goal.
Yeah.
They will support you and they will support everything you want to do. But in the end, you have to do it yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So easy to get caught up thinking, oh, I have to go rowing tomorrow because my coach wants me to be there or my crew
Mhm.
wants me to be there. It's like, no, you're choosing to do that. So yeah, I really like that advice, Tim. Okay. So then started to go well again in selection into the 2019 season, is that right?
No,
Or was
no.
it
The great race where I became strong in single again was after the season in 2019.
right? Okay, sorry, I'm getting
In
the 18-19
2019,
mixed
I
up.
was in the double with Stefan Krüger. We had some pretty good races on the World Cups, but in the end, we just finished, I think, ninth or 10th at the
Oh,
Worlds.
just out of
Quali
qualification.
yeah, qualified the boat
Oh,
for
did you?
Germany.
Right, you qualified it, right?
Yeah, we qualified the double, but afterwards, our coach sat us down and said, "Hey, I don't think we should go into another season together like this." And he was the coach of Stefan. So he made it
Oh,
pretty clear that Stefan will sit in the double the next season at the Olympics. And for me, it was a huge bummer because I never was selected for the quad before because of my erg score.
oh, right.
And the quad finished quite good with fifth place. And it shown me how hard it can be to be selected for an Olympic team, even if you are one of the top rowers in your country. So
Yeah,
because it's always coaches deciding if they want you, if they like you, if they think you're capable of achieving what they want of you.
yeah, and I'm guessing you were second. Well, I mean, at that point, you and Ollie kind of were like that, I guess. And there was
Yeah.
nobody else like close to you in the single, is that right?
Stefan Krüger was always
Was he?
pretty much in the game also.
Okay.
Um, yeah, but so it was clear to me Stefan is a good rower in the single, and his coach is coaching the double. So
Yeah,
Stefan is sitting inside that boat next year, if I like
yeah.
it or not. And I won't be able to row with him together again because his coach told me so. Yeah.
Bit unfair,
And
isn't it? But hey ho. Yeah. No
isn't
comment. Sorry, I'm
fair.
not trying to get
Yeah.
you to say anything.
Nah, it's okay. The coach, our former coach, Carsten Tim, I can really talk to him. We have a great connection
Nice.
still, so it's it's still good. He had this idea of performing the best double with Stefan, and they worked for so long together, and I can understand that he has the um, respect for Stefan and the trust in him to do the best double with him.
Yeah.
So at that point, I was like, yeah, bad for me.
Good for you.
But I can understand your decision, even though
Yeah.
I don't like it. Then I did everything I could to improve my erg score. Pulled that down to 557, 556.
Nice. That's a big
So
jump.
yeah, quite a big improvement. Um, yeah, then won the trials in the single. Ollie didn't participate because he was already in the single selected. But all the others were in the single at the trials. I won that, and afterwards were put in the quad. First on stroke, later in the bow seat.
Nice. When you went to drop to 556 2K, was it a lot of the same that you did before, where you were doing those long rows in the morning and then those 70 to 90K bike rides again, or was it?
We went to Lanzarote only for cycling.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it was a complete athletic training camp. No rowing at all. Just very much cycling, very much hitting the gym, and that was what pushed me. Yeah, these seconds I needed.
Nice. Okay. And yeah, okay, cool. So going into the quad, what were you doing? Like, what did you have to change to fit into a boat that traditionally you didn't have as much experience in?
Yeah, that's quite a good question.
What did you just
Um,
sit in stroke seat and tell everybody else they have to follow you?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and I think that was kind of a mistake. So we had like Karl Schulze and Hans
Yeah.
Gruner, both Olympic champions in the quad, but
Yeah.
also they kind of evolved in different direction of rowing with different ideas and kind of different rhythms. Then there was Max and myself, who were like, yeah, we know how to row a quad, guys. Let us show you how to do it. And I mean, we were sitting with two Olympic champions, and I think the main problem was that they weren't on the same side, and
Okay.
also were working against each other. And so in the end, we didn't had like one rowing idea. Pretty much different rowing ideas, different approaches of how we wanted to row together, and we had some good races. Um, but that was more like an accident that everything worked out good in that race, not like we could just do it again in the next race.
Hmm. Okay. All right. And then how is the whole Tokyo pandemic Olympic experience? It must have been quite strange. I don't know. How was it?
Um, um, it, for me, after Paris, I have to say now it weren't Olympics at all. I
Right.
mean, no one who was sitting on the side cheering for us. All these restrictions, it felt more like, ah, it felt totally surreal. So when I compare it to Paris, where we had like 24,000 people watching us, cheering, um, that was amazing.
The
And
German fans are
Tokyo,
loud, by the way.
yes, they
Because
are.
I watched the singles and the eights, and it was the Germans and the Dutch and the Brits. All the Brits were like, "Oh, very good, very good." But yeah, the Germans were like, "Oh."
Yeah, they really get going.
Yeah.
Also, the France fans were always when the France double were running down the course. Wow, it was so loud. It was
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah, but in Tokyo we didn't have anything like that. I mean, everything was dressed with Olympic rings, but the mood wasn't very
Yeah.
Olympic like.
Weird.
Yeah, it was very weird, and also. Um, don't be able to spend some more time abroad in Tokyo to get yeah to have to get back home right after the races. It wasn't yeah. Also
Yeah.
finishing eighth was way out of anything that felt happy. I mean, if you're going to the Olympics, you at least want to be in the race that decides who will get the medal.
Yeah.
And to get that dream crushed even before that race
Yeah.
is hard. It's I also yeah most of the clothing part we got from Tokyo I just gave to people around me.
Oh yeah.
Like they were very happy with it. Didn't
You can
want to
give me
see
some as
them
well
every day.
if you still have some, I'll take it.
Yeah, sure. Just send me an address.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
but with the Paris clothes now, I always the only thing I gave away was one T-shirt and one polo shirt. The
Yeah.
rest I kept for myself.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah. So because I'm so proud of what we achieved, and I really want to show that. Yeah, every time I go somewhere, not all the time. I'm not wearing only the clothes from Paris, but
You wear them to
pretty
sleep and
often
stuff like
also.
that.
Sleeping not.
Yeah. Fair enough. No, I'd be wearing it all the time as well. Okay, so like after those Olympics then, like what were you more motivated after the Tokyo Olympics? How are you feeling going into the next Olympiad?
Yeah, first I took a break for 1 year.
Oh, you're up. Yeah, I
Um,
missed that. Right.
yeah, no, season 2022 for me. And that was one of the best decisions I ever made. Um, it was a little bit to see how much I really miss rowing
Yeah.
and very much to get going and studying. Um,
What are you studying?
law.
Law. Nice.
So yeah, I've finished it so far. Now I only have the first bar exam in front of me, which I want to do next year. So yeah,
What sort of
pretty
law are
much.
you gonna go? Are you thinking of going into?
Oh, I don't know at all.
I don't know. Fair. Fair enough. Fair enough. Anyways, okay. Okay, so yeah, had a good break.
Yeah, had a very
Helped.
good break. Did a lot of cycling actually. Went also pretty good. I was pretty quick on the bike.
What's your FTP? Do you know what your FTP?
I don't know my FTP, but I have this 7 kilometer test. It's the whole time completely flat, and it's 35 kilometers one direction, circle 35 kilometers in the other direction. And the best I did was like 38.4 kilometers per hour,
Oof.
which is like 310 watts. Yeah, I did the same test right after Paris and did like 38.7.
Ooh.
So my next goal is the 39 kilometers.
Did you do that on a time trial bike or on a road
No,
bike?
no, no, normal road bike.
Road bike, yeah.
It's pretty good road bike.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Are you
a
shaving your
specialized
legs?
bench. No, not already,
Oh, you
but aero socks.
oh, okay, okay, yeah. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. I know I got in COVID, I got really into cycling as well. So like yeah, I got a
It's
bit
awesome.
I was shaving my legs and everything. I went hardcore into it. I was like weighing like all the little like bits of it to try and get my
Yeah,
bike as light as possible. But um cool, yeah. Would you ever go, are
yeah.
you ever gonna get into competitive cycling, do you think? I always thought rowers, elite rowers would be good at it.
I think lightweight rowers are excellent cyclists. Um,
Yeah, Jason Osborne, your countryman,
Jason
isn't he?
Osborne is, yeah,
Yeah,
amazing. I
he's a
mean,
pro one
he
now.
just, hmm?
He's a pro
What?
one now. Yeah, so he's
Yeah,
pretty
he's a
good.
pro now, but he will only do e-cycling now.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that.
So, yeah, but I think
2 seconds, my
heavyweight.
dog is 2 seconds. My dog is going mental. I was hoping this wasn't going to happen. Hold on,
Yes,
sorry.
okay, just bring him in.
Yeah. Sorry.
That's okay, totally fine.
Oh yeah, we can just edit that out. It was my meal kit getting delivered because otherwise I just live
Uh,
off I live off pizzas and like unhealthy shit. Anyways, cool. So yeah, we were saying Jason.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, cycling.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a hobby for myself. Also, building up my own bike. Um,
Oh, cool.
I
Yeah.
had quite a lot of bikes in my career, but now I'm stuck on a specialized bench and
Oh.
Crux, and they both are amazing. Really love them.
Yeah, so a total tangent is just kind of my interest, but like I thought they stopped doing the Venge. Is it an old
Yeah,
frame?
yeah. I got the frame around the Tokyo Olympics.
Right.
So, and yeah, build it up with an Ultegra Di2. Now switch to a SRAM. Love it
Nice.
more. Yeah, with 80 millimeter deep wheels. So it's just for aero,
Nice.
just
Cool. Yeah, I
for
suppose if you're
going
on the
fast.
flats everywhere. But yeah, sorry,
Yeah,
total tangent. I'll just start
yeah.
asking about cycling. I know most rowers maybe don't care about cycling as much, but I do. And it's our show, so we can do what we want. Okay, no, anyways. So okay, and then feeling fresh after that year off.
Yeah, it was kind of pretty funny because in the beginning I was mentally so exhausted that I was like, don't know if I will be back after the break.
Yeah.
When the season started, I was like, oh shit, I want to do something this year. No World Cups, no World Championships, but I want to do anything. So my home coach did some training with me in the single again, and I rode at a regatta 60 kilometers from Hamburg. It was great. 2 days, 2 races, 2 wins, everything I could ask for. And yeah, a couple of months later, the double, or German double, had like a big fight on the World Championships and had to withdraw. And
Oh,
I was
can you
like,
tell me
oh,
about
hey,
that? Can
I'm
you
ready.
can
You
you
just give me a call. Just I will be over there. Just put me in.
I would love to hear. I mean, we can edit it out or no, but like what was the fight about? I love drama. Or are you're not gonna say it? It's all good.
Ah, um, it was kind of that they didn't get along quite too well for the whole season,
Okay.
and then they had a not so good for race. So that heat wasn't that good, and yeah, one rower just vanished afterwards.
Oh
It wasn't
shit.
seen like the next 5 hours,
Oh
and
really?
that led to the point that the other one was like, "Hey, come on, I could need a break as well. This isn't something I want to, yeah, I want to put myself through, not now." So yeah, it wasn't easy for them.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I was like, I felt like, okay, if they want me in, they just have to give me a call. I'll be there. And that was the time where I really, yeah, have shown myself how much I really care about rowing still. And yeah, a couple of months later, we started rowing again in Hamburg. Had a great group, very good people. Um, and yeah, great season 2023. I mean, after 1 year without rowing, I become third at the championships, as a German championships in the beginning of the season 2023. Um, it was like um, pretty hard for me. The fourth race was very hard.
Yeah.
And the final, I was too exhausted. So if you ever have a break in competing, don't feel too much rush in the heat and the quarterfinal. Just
Yeah.
try to go to the final and then put everything on the table.
Yeah.
So yeah, 3 races. I've shown how fast I can go. Um, didn't row against Ollie directly in any of these first 3 races, but always with a quicker time than him.
Oh.
Yeah, but in the end, the final counts, and I just finished third. So yeah, but also pretty good for not rowing that much for a year. Yeah, and then we were pretty quickly selected for the quad. And that was, I think, the biggest low point after Tokyo. Again, for me, yeah, the European Championships in Bled. Beautiful course. I'm so grateful that I had the opportunity to row there once. Would have loved to row there more often, or maybe in the next few years I'll get the opportunity to race there again. But yeah, we just finished eighth, and it was just European Championships. So I
Mm.
knew the Aussies will come, the Chinese, Canada, or Team USA always have some great sculling teams as well. So I knew that qualifying for the Olympic Games again would be nearly impossible. Um, and we were a very good team at that point. So with very good paces in training, and at the rowing event and at the championships, European championships, we couldn't show anything from that. And it was mentally very challenging to keep going, to say to yourself, yeah, you took a year off and you know how great
Yeah.
rowing the life can be without rowing. But you want to go to the Olympics, and when it's shown to you how hard that will be, um, in the end, it's only greater to succeed then. Yeah, and so we had the second World Cup in Varese, uh, small improvement. Then we had Lucerne, big improvement, and the Worlds we had such a great semifinal.
What was improving? What were you guys doing better? Was the boat
I
just going
think
faster? You weren't.
Yeah, we were going faster and faster every time we raced, and I think it's because we just got more together, and the rowing ideas became more and more similar.
Yeah. Any
So
specific things that you guys got together on?
I think very much the rhythm. So with the little pause in the end of the stroke and not too much rush on the slides, but get the boat going directly. And yeah, a quick catch.
Quick
Um,
catch.
yeah, also like that we all rode the same length and stuff like that improved a little bit over the time, and that made us quicker, big steps.
Nice. Okay. Okay, cool. All right. And then, so you guys were filled with a bit more optimism going into Paris then.
Yeah, we had a very great winter season. Improved even further. Then we had the trials. I think it was April 2024. We had the trials, and yeah, our strokeman Moritz Wolf just became sick afterwards, um, and was out for like 2.5 months.
Oh geez. All right.
Yeah, it was a catastrophe. And with our spare rower, US Rommelmann, me and Julius had a strange relationship. So we didn't dislike each other, but we couldn't work together very good in the boat because we had so different rowing ideas. They were complete opposite. And yeah, we really had to take some time and really hit rock bottom. With the rowing, didn't feel like anything we ever did before. And then we just did some race pace pieces, like 250-meter intervals. And afterwards, it was like, okay, why is rowing together in high stroke rates getting so good now? And even at rate 20, we just automatically get in sync. It was like something just broke free
Yeah.
during the intervals. It was nothing we could explain ourselves because he said to me he didn't change anything, and I was like, yeah, I didn't change anything either. I don't know why is it clicking so good now, but yeah, it did.
Hmm.
Um,
That's the fun
yeah,
part of the sport though, isn't it? Like the kind of, if
yeah,
we understood everything, then it would be boring, wouldn't it? It's that mystery that's the fun part.
yeah. We also had like this measurements of stroke lengths, how our peak force was over the whole stroke. We had all the data, and before we were good together, and after we were good together, they were almost the same. It was nothing like, oh yeah, there you can see we are now more in sync or something like that. It was, yeah,
Weird.
the mystery of the rowing.
Yeah, yeah, who knows? Who knows? That's yeah, that's the fun part. Yeah, okay, cool, cool. We're getting close to kind of the hour, Tim. I don't want to keep you for
It's
too long.
totally fine. I can talk about Paris if you
Uh,
like to.
yeah, maybe it'd be good to hear about how Paris went for you, and
Yeah.
then just like maybe a bit more like what's. I hate asking people that have just finished the Olympics this what's next, but just enjoy the moment, enjoy the post-Olympic phase. But if there's anything that would be great to hear. But yeah, how is Paris?
Paris was amazing. I mean, we finished fifth, which was a very great success for us. I don't know if you have seen us in Poznan at the World Cup 3.
Hmm.
We finished fifth as well, but none of the great crews were attending. So cried catastrophe afterwards. And yeah, Paris was great overall. I mean, the rowing course was amazing. Really loved it. The
Yeah.
people cheering for us, it was goosebumps, totally goosebumps.
Nice.
I remember in the
I
first
just got
race in our
goosebumps
heat,
there when you said that.
in our heat, um, there was this point of the race where I was like, "Are we close to the finish line?" And
Start sprinting.
yeah, it was really like, "Do we have to sprint now?" And I was looking to the left side of the course and saw the 1,000-meter mark. And a couple of strokes later, I looked to the right side of the rowing course, and there were so many people, and it was so loud. And I was like, what's going on? I couldn't understand it really because it was so, yeah, it was like, what are we doing? I never raced at such a course before. It was like, do we have to sprint now already? Because the volume was so up and it was so amazing. I was just like, we were carried half of the rowing course, half of the meters were just like carried by the screaming from the sides. It
Cool.
was not. It wasn't comparable to any other event I already
Bit louder than
participated in.
Tokyo.
A little bit,
A little bit.
also louder than every world I attended to before.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's that. Yeah, that's cool. That's what I've
Also,
heard.
I mean, all the real rowing fans they want to sit right next to the finish line. So see who won, who became second. And at the Olympics, having people at the rowing course who were just like, yeah, not that much into rowing, but into the Olympic idea. And standing at the 1,000-meter mark is like, what are you guys doing here?
Yeah.
You half of the race haven't even happened, and you guys are cheering like it's the
Yeah.
last 250 meters. It was, yeah.
Well, it's funny you say that because I was sat on the start line when I was watching it. It was terrible for rowing spectators because I couldn't see you couldn't really see the race. If anything, I would maybe rather see like in person the middle and then turn and watch the end of the race on the TV. Um, but yeah. I'd like to see the
Yeah.
starts as well. I'd love to sit and watch the starts of some of the crews, but all right. So yeah, like great race in Paris then, and happy with how everything went. What was the kind of post-Olympic period like for you?
I just,
Partied, celebrate?
yeah, party celebration. Yeah, I stayed for 3 days longer with my wife in Paris. Um, and afterwards, we went to go get kite surfing.
Nice.
So the other hobby
Don't have to worry
besides
about
cycling?
injuries anymore.
Not at all.
That being said,
Because
cycling's pretty dangerous.
yeah, it is, but it's something that I really need for rowing. So that's the
True,
danger
yeah.
I'm willing to accept. Kitesurfing is just for fun. So yeah, also with kitesurfing, and then yes, studying for the first bar exam has already started. So no post-Olympic stress. So
Exciting. So yeah, cool. What's do you have an idea of what the few do you made up your mind of like whether you think you're gonna give maybe just like another year out or something and then see how you feel or
yeah,
what?
my plan is to take a year out of World Cups season and yeah, get my degree and afterwards get back into rowing for Los Angeles.
Oof. 1500,
Yeah,
what do you think? You more suited to it, less suited?
less suited, I think, because if you're honestly, I think you have to be more on the physical side of rowing, less on the technical and endurance part. But I think I can manage to get there with the right training.
Yeah.
So already started like more CrossFit training.
Okay.
So I hope that will get me going on 2000, 1,500 meters.
Yeah. 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 I was trying the last guest we had on well I've posted it by the time I posted this was Robbie Manson. He said
Ah,
that
great guy.
Yeah, we had a great chat as well. He said that the New Zealand team, the way they're approaching it is the only race of the Olympiad is that's 1500 is the Olympics. So even the qualification race is like 2000,
Yeah.
obviously, as you'll know, but they're not changing anything about the way they train, or so they say, or so they say. Uh, but yeah,
Robbie is always pretty honestly, so
yeah, yeah. Yeah. But yeah, it'll be exciting to see and yeah. Cool. Well,
I
Tim,
think
yeah.
I think the Dutch already did some erg tests about 1,500 meters, so
Oh,
could be pretty interesting how they will do their training.
yeah. I wonder that could be a way you could do it with maybe just do your instead of a 2K erg test, you do a 1500, but all your other training maybe stays the same. Who knows? Who knows? Yeah. Okay. But yeah, Tim, you've been very generous with your time, and yeah, thank you so much for coming on
Yep.
and share giving insight into the ups and downs, and loads of value there as well. I think people can take away some lessons from what we were talking about, and yeah, hope the bar exam goes well, and hope you have a good rest, and I'll be waiting for my Olympic kit from you in the post.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, thanks for having me, first of all. And yeah, if I sometimes stop rowing, we'll have another chat and I'll go into the
Oh,
spicy details.
oh yeah, yeah. Fair enough. Well, I'll be the first there. I like hearing that stuff, that the juicy
Perfect.
stuff. But yeah, Tim, thank you again so much. And yeah, oh everybody like and subscribe and all that nonsense. And yeah, all the best.
Bye.
I hope that you have enjoyed this conversation and taken away valuable, actionable pieces of advice that you can implement now. As many of you know, we're fairly capped on how many people we can work with one-to-one, so we spend a lot of time making good free content like this so that we can have as positive an impact in the rowing world as possible. To do one better than content, we're currently giving away our free over 40 training zone calculator. So much of training zone calculations are based off of younger elite Olympians, and these calculations do not account for the physiological changes that happen in your body as you age. When we coach people one-to-one, we analyze their data, make sure they're not going too easy and wasting their training time, and make sure that they're not going too hard and destroying their health and decreasing their energy levels. What we've done is gather together all of our data, made it into a simple, easy tool that you can use so that you can make more of the limited training time that you have. So depending on when you're listening to this, we may have changed the offer, which means that the over 40 training tool won't be in the description forever. So if you want access, head to the link in the description, fire through a quick form that asks you a couple of other questions, which gives us an idea if there's any other free resources that we can send you. 60 seconds later, you have the over 40 training tool calculator, and you'll be one step closer to rowing to the best version of yourself.